In this video, we're going to talk about the various ways that long-term care costs can get paid. It's important to understand that when we're talking about long-term care, we're talking about custodial care and not acute care. And there is people often do not draw that distinction, and as a result, they get confused as to how things can get paid for. Most seniors believe that Medicare is a payment source for custodial long-term care costs. Custodial care means that you're having someone help you meet an activity of daily living. So someone's in your elbow helping you get dressed or deal with medication issues or meal preparation or feeding yourself or transferring from a chair to your bed, or really if someone's helping you with a critical function, that's an activity of daily living, and custodial care deals with that. Medicare, unfortunately, as a program, will not pay for custodial care at all unless it's part of a treatment program for an acute injury. So if you fell and broke your hip and are receiving rehabilitative care for the broken hip, and while you're receiving that rehabilitative care for the broken hip, someone needed to help you transfer, Medicare would pay for that for a brief period of time. And a brief period of time is 100 days or less. Medicare, unfortunately, will not pay for custodial care for conditions that are not treatable or curable. So there is absolutely no Medicare coverage for conditions like Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's or Huntington's disease or these other conditions that require long-term care, whether it's in the home or some other type of location. So if Medicare doesn't pay for care, well, what are your other choices? Well, the first choice that most folks gravitate towards is privately paying for care, meaning that they start writing checks. And that can prove to be the undoing of most estates, because privately paying for care is enormously expensive. It is not unusual, and in fact, as we're doing this video right now, the average cost of skilled nursing care in Southern California is between $8,000 to $10,000 a month. If you're privately paying for that, that means that you are writing checks. And if your income's insufficient to pay for that, you are selling things, you're liquidating your portfolio to bridge that gap. The average amount of time someone's going to spend in a care facility is between 2.5 to 3 years, and you can see at $10,000 a month, you're looking at a bill of $300,000 to $400,000 over that person's lifetime. That's just in care costs. That doesn't include normal living expenses like food, clothing, mortgage payments, car payments, or any other things that you may have going on. So privately paying for care is something that many people gravitate towards initially, and they wind up going bankrupt. What's your other choice? Well, you could have long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance is a special kind of insurance. Unfortunately, it was not part of the healthcare reform law, or Obamacare as it's often known. So if you have a pre-existing condition, meaning you've got a diagnosis now of dementia or Parkinson's, or have had a heart attack or a stroke, you won't qualify for long-term care insurance. So you have to have it in place beforehand. It's a special kind of policy that will pay for custodial care. It'll pay for care in your home, it'll pay for care in a facility, it'll pay for care in a wide variety of other places. But unfortunately, most seniors do not have any long-term care insurance at all. In fact, the studies that I've looked at recently from MetLife and other organizations, they've found that less than 10% of the senior population has a policy in place. Not even talking if the policy is large enough to actually cover their care costs, just less than 10% of the population even has that form of insurance. So by and large, it is not a program that most seniors are going to be dealing with. What's another choice? Well, if you can't afford to privately pay for it, Medicare isn't getting it done, long-term care insurance isn't getting it done, well, your fourth choice is really simple. Call your kids up. You ask them for help, right? Because that's what they're there for. And in my world, it's not so much that kids won't help, it's often that kids will. Meaning that I've seen children come into my office after completely liquidating their IRAs and 401ks, quitting their employment to take care of parents, to take care of their family members. I've seen them literally drop everything and move across the country because mom or dad need help. That may or may not be what you want to have happen. And one of the goals of this series of videos and one of the goals of my process is to make sure that whatever it is that you want to have happen is understood by everyone. So our choices again, you pay for it, your kids pay for it, long-term care insurance, Medicare, certainly there's something else, and there is. There's various government benefit programs that are designed to help seniors pay for care. There's going to be a whole series of videos on these two programs. One is a VA program called Aid in Attendance, which is a non-service connected pension in which a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran can receive a tax-free income stream that can be used to pay for care. The other is Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal is a joint federal and state program. It's California's version of the Medicaid program. It is by far the way most care is paid for, and in fact, there's a recent study that came out by the state of California that says that Medi-Cal currently is paying for between 70 and 80% of the long-term care costs being utilized by seniors. So it is the primary way care is paid for. The problem with both the VA program and the Medi-Cal program is that they're complicated, they have very specific rules, and those rules have to be dealt with in very, very specific ways, or they won't help you.